the whole body started shaking and he couldn't perform. He had what one would say erectile dysfunction. This is a tried and tested technique. Any case and every case of erectile dysfunction used to be sent to the psychiatrist. Ajay couldn't understand it. He was alright masturbating. He would have a ejaculation and orgasm and he was perfectly fine. But the other day when he got his girlfriend into his room finally, everything went haywire. To start with, when he tried to open the lock, his hands were shaking. And once they were inside, the whole body started shaking. He was in mental confusion and there were sweat beads on his forehead. He was a mess and obviously he couldn't perform. This thing happened again 2 or 3 days later and soon he became a mental wreck. What was happening to him? He was alright when he was on his own, but when he had his girlfriend with him in that single room, he was full of anxiety and he couldn't perform. You see, Ajay is a typical case of performance anxiety. He was in a situation where they were alone. His mind was thinking about what if the landlord comes in and knocks on the door? Or worse, what happens if his parents come and knock on the door? All these kind of things kept on coming in his mind and he couldn't concentrate on the job. Now this is a situational performance anxiety. And mercifully for him, his parents decided to get him married off to another lady. Now the situation was different. Now he was accepted by the society. Now everything was legal. Both the parents involved knew what was in store. And the newlyweds knew what they were supposed to do. Now there was no conflict in his mind and he was able to perform. Ajay's case is not the only one. There are many others with a similar kind of situation. Let's take the example of Nitin. Nitin had a lovely job and a happy married life. Soon he was promoted out of turn and then came trouble because he was busy in his work, almost 18 hours a day, and then he had to catch the traffic and come back home. He was invariably tired. His wife, who was also an IT consultant, also was very busy. One weekend, they decided to have sexual intercourse. But much to his surprise and disappointment, Ajay could not get it up. He had what one would say erectile dysfunction. This played on his mind. And the next night, again he had the same problem. He couldn't get a proper erection. He realized that he's got a problem. And what started as one-off thing became a permanent feature. And he had what is known as erectile dysfunction. This was fairly permanent. This is also situational performance anxiety. An anxiety that because he was not able to perform once, weighed on his mind. The next time he was around, Ajay thought, will I be able to get an erection at all? And the moment this thought came into his mind, he was full of doubts and he failed to get an erection. Such is the human mind that a single doubt causes problems. Just a firing from the boss can result in the patient not having proper sexual intercourse because hormones that are supposed to be released are not released in the same manner. This is another type of situational performance anxiety. The third type, Mr. Singh went to Hong Kong on a professional visit. There he went to a sex worker. $10 for 10 minutes, said the sex worker. Mr. Singh was very happy. He says, who cares? How would she know what 10 minutes are over? And this lanky guy from Amritsar, he would take time to start. He took 10 minutes just to start off. Little did he realize that the girl had a bell under the bed. And after 10 minutes, the bell rang. In his own words, Mr. Singh says, "Oh din aaj ka din hai, talli bajani hai." And he loses his erection after 10 minutes. This is a very difficult type of situational performance anxiety. Very difficult to root out. Because once it is set in the mind, then even though there is no bell after 10 minutes, he would think that there is a bell and lose his erection. What to do in a situation like this? Indeed, in all the three situations, the first and foremost thing to do is to get out of that situation. Like in the first case, Ajay, he managed to get out of it quite by accident because his parents insisted that he get married, and the situation was totally different. It was changed. Situations like Mr. Singh are very difficult to root out, but there are scientific techniques that can be used in a situation like that. So first thing, get out of the situation. Second thing, do yoga exercises. Meditation. Meditation is excellent for calming the mind, for getting rid of the anxiety, for giving the confidence back. Other yogic exercises like the Yoga Nidra, it does the same thing. One of the most important things is pranayama or deep breathing exercises. You try that in any situation that has anxiety. Take a deep breath, count up to 4 while inhaling, then stop the breathing for up to count of 4 and exhale. The exhale has got to be longer than the inhaling. Say count up to 6. This is a tried and tested technique. If the expiration is longer than the inspiration, then the mind automatically starts cooling down and relaxing. Scientifically, this is because of stimulation of the vagus nerve, which is the nerve for relaxation. Simple thing that you can follow, not just for sexual anxiety, but any case of anxiety. Diet has a very important role to play. Antioxidants result in mopping up the bad hormones and giving up the happy hormones. Then there are micronutrients which are important for building up hormones, and these things are also found in a healthy diet. What is this healthy diet? Soups, vegetables, salads, green leafy vegetables, substances with zinc and magnesium in them like dry fruits. All these are good things to have. Stay away from fast food. There is a scientific technique known as sensate focus. That is the kind of technique that you will require for cases like Mr. Singh. But it requires a lot of patience, it requires a lot of time, and generally speaking, persons these days have no time to waste, as they say, for a procedure like sensate focus, which may take months before healing occurs. Even so, it's a technique that's available, and I shall talk about it in some of my future videos. Psychotherapy, the usual form where a psychotherapist goes through the whole problem and tries to do confidence building. That is important. And finally, if nothing works, there are the medicines that can be used. My advice to all of you, it's very tempting to start using the medicines from day one, but avoid doing so, because medicines have their own side effects. Years and years ago, when I was a medical student, any case and every case of erectile dysfunction used to be sent to the psychiatrist. And what would they do? Put the patient on sedative. So he'll sleep through the whole night and had no chance to think about sex. That's one way of curing the condition. Get him off to sleep so that he doesn't think about sex anyway. But I don't think that's somehow right. There are some medicines nowadays which can be given to control the anxiety, and they can be used sparingly if required. I have talked about lifestyle modification videos that I have done, sex after 60, sex after 40. You can click here to have a look at those videos. Follow my 10 commandments on safe sex, happy sex. If you liked today's video, please press the like icon. You may put your comments, your thoughts, your ways in which I can improve this video, or you may have a question to ask. You can write in the comment section. And oh yes, don't forget to tap on the subscribe. Till next time, have a great day. As the Duchess said to the Bishop, keep it up.